Welcome to Reverent and Rebellious, a safe space for faith-based conversations on the things that nobody seems to want to talk about these days. We are reverent, we value truth, we elevate scripture, but we are also rebellious. We shatter myths and we destroy dogma, so jump in. Join us, Logan, Pat, and me, the brother Peter, as we get reverent and we get rebellious.
What's up?
What's up?
Jake Paul got knocked out.
Yeah, sure did.
He did. I loved it. Loved every minute of it.
Sure did.
That was the highlight of my week.
Yep.
Why? I'm very ignorant about this stuff. Why was it such a good deal that he got knocked out?
Well, Jake Paul has been fighting a bunch of has-beens over the hill people, and the only person his age he fought, Tommy Fury. It's Tyson Fury's little brother. Beat him bad, and then he fought Anthony Joshua, and Anthony Joshua is still
savage.
looking. He's looking for the shot at the heavyweight title, and this fight would go on their professional records. And so like Jake Paul was literally like trying to wrestle the whole time, trying to shoot takedowns. And then when finally he caught him with that nasty right hook, you could see the look on Jake Paul's face, like he hit the ground like, whoa, I just got hit by a freight train. And it was game over. And,
broke his jaw.
But you know what though? Jake Paul did something I would not do. Get in the ring with him.
Well, that's what
there's no way I would fight Anthony Joshua.
One of my good friends, he's a big Muay Thai jiu-jitsu guy. Mm-hmm. And he's done a few MMA fights. And I was telling him, me and him were talking about it. And I said, man, I just can't stand Jake. And he was like, I don't like Jake either. He said, but he had the balls to get in there with one of the like hardest punchers and baddest boxers there is right now.
My hat's off to him because I wouldn't do it.
I would get in the ring with Butterbean.
Butterbean. Man, did you see the old video where he busted Johnny Knoxville?
Yeah. Now, if the money was right, I'd fight any of them. But I'm telling you right now, it's going to go about 3 to 5 seconds in the first round.
Yeah.
And I'm out.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what on Facebook, or not on Facebook, on Instagram, some of the guys were like, hey, you pay me $30 million, I'll get in the ring with anybody.
That's right.
They're like, I'm going to get obliterated, but I'll get in the ring with
But that's
them.
the thing is they will not pay you $30 million.
They wouldn't pay me 30.
No.
No.
I wouldn't cover one Netflix subscription.
No, I would walk into the ring. I would lay down and tap on this. This I'm done.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what, though? Even though Jake, he ran around and wrestled and all that, 6 rounds, I mean, he lasted 6 rounds.
But
I mean,
Anthony, I think, let him.
For sure. He was looking
Why
for the...
would you not? You know, just let the drama build a little bit.
Anthony Joshua was looking for a home run swing every punch.
Yeah.
And so he was just kind of like taking his time.
And he even said, like, in the post-fight interview in there, Anthony was like, I wanted to wear him down and then break him.
Yeah.
Like, he said, this is exactly my game plan going into this. I wanted him to get wore down. And that's what I told some people talking about. I was like, by the 6th round when he knocked him out, Jake looked exhausted, and Anthony looked like he was just having fun.
Yeah, he was just bouncing. He was good.
Did you ever watch any old school boxing?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yep.
The old Muhammad Ali rope-a-dope thing.
Yeah.
Whenever I watch the rope-a-dope stuff and all that, I'm like, no wonder this man was so wrecked when he got older.
Oh,
man.
The damage he took.
I love era boxing. Like, I would go through, like, the 50s sometimes and watch it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like Rocky Marciano, which he was before the
classic
50s.
Stuff,
But,
man.
you know, like Jersey Joe, and then go watch, like, Muhammad Ali. And then, of course, you know, we all know Mike Tyson hit the scene.
Yep.
And he was just a different animal. But I tell you, the most impressive boxer I've ever seen
Was Rocky Balboa.
No, it was Roy Jones Jr. That dude would hold his hands down to his side, and people couldn't hit him.
Yeah.
Like, it was just incredible to watch. And then as he got older, you know, he couldn't keep up with it. But Roy Jones Jr. was my light heavyweight childhood, and then the Klitschko brothers in the heavyweight. They were just animals, man.
I like Tyson. Just because he was kind of, when I was a kid growing up, you know, and Tyson was crazy because he was fast and super strong.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, usually they were one or the other. It's like the dude was a powerhouse puncher, but he was slow, or he was super fast, but he didn't hit that hard. Tyson was just a pit bull, man. He was a beast.
It was also that thing too, like, you know, you went through like Lennox Lewis, Vander Holyfield, you know, the Klitschko brothers, all these people. Tyson was there the whole time.
Oh yeah.
Like Tyson fought through eras of people. Like
Tyson was just a killer.
Yeah.
Like Tyson would get up there and he'd be like, "I'm gonna eat his children."
I'm
Like
gonna
you know,
bury his
like-
family. Yeah. Oscar De La Hoya was an animal too.
yeah.
And then Tyson bought a tiger.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, whenever actually Mike Tyson, I think about him fairly frequently here in the last 2 years. Farming, I've told y'all, it's been in the dump. And I'm like, man, we're losing so much money. And I'll feel really bad about how much money we're losing. And then I remember that Mike Tyson
He sure
blew
He
like
sure did.
$500
Yeah.
million
Yeah.
Blew it all.
dollars.
Yeah.
Literally blew $500 million. So I'm like, I'm doing all right.
Yep.
I'm
People
doing
have
right.
often asked me, right, especially when I was like, amateur MMA and stuff like that. They were like, "Would you ever fight Tyson?" I said, "Yeah, absolutely. As soon as he's in his casket,
Yeah.
then we'll go. Like if I know that he's done, yeah, then I'll go. Like, no, man, that man is dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
No, he's crazy.
Yeah.
So so now that we've eliminated almost all of our audience by now.
So now with the football news,
Yes, exactly. What's been going on? Anything? We got done with our big Christmas at the Grove, man.
Y'all tore it up. It was awesome. I got a cool aerial shot, up top of y'all doing your solos.
Yes.
Your battle of the keytar and the guitar.
Yeah.
Yep, Peter won.
That was awesome. For those of you that if you didn't get to be there, I mean you missed out, but I guess they can go. Now the Christmas at the Grove at the Ruffin was not recorded.
That's right.
No,
But the one at the church was.
We're gonna have little clips released from that here in the next several weeks. So
Good,
you
good.
get a little flavor of it anyway.
There you go. Well, we want you guys to leave us a little flavor.
That's it.
And we want you to hit that like button, hit subscribe, comment below, and also we need ratings. We need
Ratings.
5-star
Yeah,
ratings
yeah.
on Apple, on Spotify, anywhere. Leave us those ratings
I haven't checked the Spotify.
to see where we're at.
Yeah, followers.
Yep.
Yeah,
Hit the follow button. Yeah.
follow,
It helps us out.
and it won't hurt you for a minute.
that's right.
It doesn't clutter up your inbox. It doesn't.
Yeah, we're not gonna mail you at home.
No, it's
No
just
phone calls.
It's just a simple follow.
I do got to give a shout out to my sister-in-law. Liz is her number one podcast. She shared on her Instagram, the Spotify
Yeah.
rap.
Oh yeah, the wrap up.
Reverent and Rebellious was her number one
That
podcast.
is
All right.
awesome. Way to go, Liz.
Yep. So I was like,
appreciate
I
that.
got to give her a shout out there.
Yes, for sure.
She can be a real turd. but yeah, she is she's a top fan. So
That is awesome.
Appreciate that, turd.
Yes.
Sorry, Liz.
And for all of you YouTube watchers, we appreciate you too. And so make
Absolutely.
sure that you've hit that subscribe button. And actually, if you do hit the subscribe button on YouTube, it will impact your algorithm, but it will actually impact it for the better because
will.
we are in the the Bible religious content section, so you'll get a little more Jesus.
I was gonna say, what is
coming
wrong
your
with
way.
that?
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're a devil worshiper.
Well,
So basically, if you're listening or watching right
and you
now,
haven't subscribed.
you're a devil worshiper.
That's it. That's
Yes.
all we got to say
Hope you
about
don't
it.
like sweaters because it's hot in hell.
Did we get any good comments, Pat?
Yeah,
We did.
Rhonda
Yes.
commented on it. She
Rhonda's a
said,
top
Rhonda has
commenter.
taken over
she's
the
an
MVP.
animal, man.
Yeah.
She says, it's easy to understand how Hebrews were looking for a military leader and a military king, someone to break the bonds of their slavery from the Romans. They were conquered people under a military authoritarian dynasty. Good wording there.
That is.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I feel
I have-
smarter hearing it.
Impressive.
I have to remind myself to not think poorly of them for missing the mark when Jesus came on the scene. We
Yeah.
have the benefit of now looking back and having the New Testament and having a clearer understanding to confirm Jesus was the Messiah. Well said.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then she followed it up with, I think for me, this was my favorite episode.
Hey, all right.
Yeah.
All
I love
time.
it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Wow, that's
did
awesome.
good.
Yep.
So are y'all in the Christmas spirit?
I actually am getting in the Christmas spirit. I have one more event that I have to do tomorrow night. By the time this airs, it will be over. But that is our annual Christmas Eve communion, and that's always just a big deal. And it really puts a nice little topper on the whole experience.
Yeah.
For all the women watching, when Peter says we have one more we have to do, that's how men view this season.
That's right.
Is we
That's
have
right.
a lot of things we have
We
to
need
do.
to say that we
Yeah.
get to do.
Yeah,
need
we
to
have
be-
a lot of things
No,
we
we-
have to do.
It is an obligation, but it's a good
is.
obligation.
It is.
It is.
And of course, I have to do my Christmas shopping tomorrow, so I'll get that all taken care of. So
I finished mine up today.
Dude, me too. Yeah.
And
Stacy took Peyton to work with her, so I had the house to myself. I
yeah,
finished it
we're
up today.
recording this, by the way, on the day before Christmas Eve.
Yeah,
the
So,
23rd.
Just so you know.
Yes, we are typical
It
men.
is 9:47 on the
That's it.
23rd.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I have a couple. I don't have any Christmas jokes. I'm all out of Christmas jokes. But I saw this one, and I thought you would appreciate this one, Logan.
All right.
Okay, so a farmer buys a young rooster. And so as soon as he gets it home, he does what roosters do with all the hens, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And then later in the day, he does it all again. And then the next day, it's the ducks. So he gets the ducks.
Okay.
And then he goes after the geese, and he gets the geese. And then he gets the cat, and he gets the dogs. And later in the day, the farmer finds the rooster lying on the ground, half dead, and vultures circling overhead. And he looks at him, he goes, "You deserve that, you know, whatever, so and so." And the rooster opens up one eye, points up, and says, "Shh, they're about to land."
That's a savage rooster right there.
That's good.
Yeah.
I got actually today. I had a rooster trying the same.
There you go. See?
Yeah.
Okay, so and I got this this little. We're going to take a little quiz here.
All right.
And see if you can. I'm gonna. This is how dad are you?
Oh gosh. Okay.
Now some of these might be a little dated. They might be a little more my era than yours. But we're just gonna see if you can get any of them.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm gonna describe a situation, and then you say what the dad would say.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So I'm gonna give you an example. When a cashier has trouble scanning an item, a dad says, "Well, I guess it's free then." Right?
Yes.
Okay. That's what dad said.
And I have said that.
I have too. Okay. After pointing a stud finder at your chest, what does the dad say?
There it is. Found the stud.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I say it works as advertised.
Yeah.
1 for 1. Okay. When a kid has a minor injury.
If you're going to be dumb, you got to be tough.
I would be
That's
like,
close.
do we need to cut it off?
That's it. You gotta, looks like we're going to have to amputate. Yeah.
My kids, I have made my children cry before.
I have too.
Yeah.
I absolutely have. Okay. So when a kid takes too long in the bathroom.
Did you fall in?
Yep,
Yeah.
you got it.
Yeah.
Yes, we are on a roll right here. Before looking at the bill, this is a little obscure, but you'll know it when I say it.
That's not before looking at the bill.
Yeah,
I'm thinking is this gonna hurt or?
no, almost. What's the damage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Oh man, dang it! Yes,
Oh, dang. I say that.
I do too. That's like, oh man.
Okay, Pat's gonna get this one.
Uh-oh.
When you see your neighbor washing their car.
Gonna wash mine next.
Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah, that's it. After falling asleep on the couch.
Just resting my eyes.
Just resting my
Yeah.
eyes. See, Logan is like dead all the way.
Yeah, man. This gray in the beard's got to go for something,
That's exactly
man.
right. Okay, when seeing a friend in public.
They just let anybody out here.
That's
Yeah.
exactly right.
I said that to you at the Ruffin.
You did, yes. Yes, Pat, Dad quoted me as I came in.
Yeah, I did.
That's funny. When seeing traffic lined up on the other side of the road.
Good thing we're going this way.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
exactly. Glad we're not going over there.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. After forgetting your keys.
I might need these. Or no,
Close.
I can't go anywhere without
That's
these.
exactly
Yep.
right. Yep.
Can't get far without these.
Okay, this is a little obscure, but I think you'll get it. When driving past horses.
Oh, when driving past horses. Come on, Pat. What are you thinking?
I don't know.
Look, horses.
Checks out.
I used to always do this to my kids, and it would almost get them every time. That we'd be driving out, in the country somewhere, and there'd be, freshly cut hayfield, and all the rolls of hay were sitting out there.
Yeah.
And I go, "Hey!" and
And they were like looking, wondering what you're. It's hey.
Hey, yeah. Mhm. The other one I used to do, it's not on this list, but the road sign that says "Stop ahead."
Yep.
I say, "Stop ahead."
You got to, man. You got
Yeah,
to.
exactly. Okay, here's a good one. You'll get this one. When the door's left open.
Don't let all my cold
I
air
was
out.
gonna say, yeah, you refrigerating outside.
Or were you
Close.
were you raised in a barn?
No, that's all good, but basically the real dad answer is I'm not paying to heat the whole neighborhood.
Ah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yep.
When carrying something heavy.
Don't worry, I got it.
Close.
Carrying something heavy. Oh man, I'm racking my brain.
It's not heavy. It's just awkward.
Yeah. Oh, does it have? It's not the heat. It's the humidity on there.
Yeah,
Maybe,
yeah,
I don't think it does. I don't think it does. In every town you're in driving through every town you're in. It's a little tough. People don't know how to drive in this town.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's everywhere.
Okay,
yeah.
what do you say every time it rains?
Man, we needed this rain.
Yes, that's exactly right. Way to go, Pat. This is a little obscure, but you'll get this one when we say it. After declining additional warranty protection. That's how they get you.
Oh man, yeah. Some of these they make me mad because I'm like, I know it.
I've said them.
Yes.
That's how they get you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Does it have one about putting like when you strap something down and you say
No.
that's not going anywhere?
Yes, that's it. That's the last one.
Is it really?
Tying something down. That's exactly right. Yeah. Okay.
You got to grab the strap though, and you say this ain't going nowhere.
You have to. You absolutely do.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially after you tie a very complicated knot.
Yep.
Oh
You
yeah.
pull on that thing.
Double clove
Yep.
hitch.
That's
It's
exactly right.
solid.
I don't say this particularly, but some I've heard it said. When it's time to leave, what does the dad say?
Let's head to the poorhouse.
Close. There's all kinds of them, but this one says, let's rock and roll.
I have said that.
I have too.
Dang it,
I absolutely
man.
have. Okay, last one. When someone comes back inside because they forgot something.
Back already?
Yeah,
Yep.
that's exactly right. Yeah, that was quick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those were fun.
Yeah.
So what we learned is we're dads.
Yeah, my
Absolutely.
in the truck, I would roll the window down, and my dad would always say, "Hey, boy, put some glass in that hole."
I say put some glass in an ammonia hole. Yeah.
That's
Yep.
good.
Yeah.
That's
Put some
good.
glass in an ammonia hole. That's what I'll tell you what do they call the old sayings like the country, it'd be like, man, I got to talk the horns off a billy goat. What
Euphemisms?
are they? Euphemisms?
Yeah.
All right. I'll tell you one of my favorite ones of all.
Okay.
Now I'm going to tell you the clean version.
Okay, good. Sanitize for your protection.
Yes.
Yes.
My dad and I were driving somewhere one day and we went past this guy's house and he didn't think real highly of this guy. And he said, that man that lives right there, he is the lionest one white man that ever crapped behind a pair of shoes.
If I would stand in front of the TV, my dad would say, "Hey, man, your daddy wasn't no glassmaker."
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely. Yeah.
I love those.
My grandpa would say, you make a better door than a window.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, final one. This is just a little little bonus joke here.
All right.
A little girl sitting on her front porch eating candy as fast as she could unwrap it. A nosy woman that lived a few doors down noticed her. She came by and said, all that candy is not good for you and will spoil your dinner. The girl replied, I don't know about that, but my grandma lived to be 104 years old. And she says, wow, by eating candy every day? The girl responded, no, by minding her own business.
That's a good
I like
one.
that. Yeah, that's good.
I'm gonna use that.
She lived to be 104
Yes.
by minding her own business.
That's good.
Now, see, this episode has thrown me off
Why is
because
that?
this episode will not drop before Christmas.
Well,
No,
this
it
is
won't.
also our last episode of the year.
It is.
it is,
See,
yeah.
so it's like it has me kind of all thrown off because we have not celebrated Christmas yet.
No, that's
Yeah.
right. We
But
haven't
by
either.
the time this drops, we will have celebrated
La,
Christmas.
la, la,
Yeah.
la, la,
So it's just it kind of messes with my head a little bit.
I could almost guarantee you by the time this drops, I will have my Christmas tree down.
Oh,
That is
see,
so sad.
that is very
Oh,
sad.
bah humbug over here.
No, it takes up couch space. Man.
Yeah.
What are
that
we
is
talking
true.
about tonight?
Well, we are getting into now. We're trying to keep with the a little bit Christmas-y,
Yeah.
all kind of stuff. And so we've been through the Magnificat, we've been through the Benedictus, and I thought about a few different kind of angles to go with it. But then something caught my attention that I really had never dug into,
Yeah.
and that is the genealogy in Matthew.
Mhm.
And then once I got into the genealogy, because Matthew starts his gospel with this, it's the chapter we hate to read, right? It's
Yeah.
the begets and the begots.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So-and-so begets so-and-so, and we go like, this is boring. Why did Matthew put this in here?
It's like reading Chronicles.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
then we see in Luke chapter 3 that Luke does a genealogy as well.
Yeah. So there must be some
It
importance
must
here.
be important. Yeah.
It is important. It's very important, and it actually is quite fascinating.
Okay.
There is stuff that's uncovered in these genealogies that will absolutely blow your mind.
See, that's another dadism. Your kid walks up to you. I forgot what I was going to say. Must not have been important.
That must not have been important. That's exactly right. Or how about, your face is going to stay like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hungry. Hey, hungry, I'm dad.
Yeah.
I pull that one all the
Right.
time. My kids hate that.
That is a classic right there.
My
You
kids
gotta love the
they
classics.
get mad.
Yeah,
Hey,
my kid gets mad at that.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's like-
so why the genealogies? Why are they important? Why would Matthew, just like come right out the box with this?
Because by the time they got to the end of this genealogy, they had some great dad jokes.
Yeah, they
Yes.
really did. Yes. But okay, so what I want to look at first, and we're going to spend most of our time on Matthew's genealogy.
All right.
We are going to, but I want to compare the two because
Well, that's what I was going to say, because I was going to say it can't be just from they're doing the genealogy for chronological reasons, because then they would be the same, but they're not.
That's exactly right. They are not the same. They are incredibly different.
Yeah.
Like there's almost no overlap in these two genealogies.
Yeah.
And in fact, who's the big famous atheist guy who wrote
Richard Dawkins? Dawkins?
Dawkins, I think
Dawkins,
that's
yes. Evolution of species.
yeah. But
Our devil worshiper listeners that haven't hit the buttons yet, we'd
Yeah.
have to ask them.
if
Maybe
you're
they
not
can
a
tell us.
subscriber, you could probably tell it.
Yeah,
right
you
off
should
the
be
top
able
of your
to.
head. The God delusion. That was the big,
Origins of species was his other
But
word.
this
Yeah.
is one of the things he puts in his book is like, do these people who take everything literally, do they not read their own Bible? You look at the genealogies and they're totally different. There's just like no overlap.
Good. Let's dismantle that
I think
guy.
we should. We need to. Because he clearly, well, anyway, he every atheist claims to have read the Bible cover to cover.
They
right?
are smarter than everyone
That's
else.
exactly right. So if you look at them side by side, you'll see, first of all, that they go in completely different orders. Matthew starts with Abraham, and he goes all the way down to Jesus with all the begets. Luke starts with Jesus.
Yeah.
And he goes the opposite direction. And he doesn't stop at Abraham. He goes all the way back to Adam, who was the son of God. That's how his genealogy ends.
Yeah.
So you get this like right off the bat anyway. Then you get the starting points, one with Abraham, one with Adam. But then you get this is where it gets into some little granular stuff here. Okay, so if you look at the end of Matthew's genealogy, and he starts out, well, first off, the book of the genealogy of Jesus Christ. Now he calls this whole book this, this whole chapter this is the genealogy book. Now, if you're going to do your genealogy, where are you going to start? Ancestry.com, right? Or something like that.
Go to my uncle. He's traced us back to Abraham Lincoln.
And so you go, here's
Literally.
my dad, here's his dad, and then the family tree sort of sprouts out, but you don't leave anybody out.
No. Well, that's what I was actually, when you were describing, I'm like, do you have two different family trees?
Right, exactly. No, I think I only have one.
Yes.
And, as opposed to some people I know, my family tree actually forks.
It's not all one branch.
It's not a telephone pole, yeah.
Yeah.
But in Tipton County, we got a lot of poles.
I know. But right off the bat, you get okay. So let's say, first of all, Matthew, traditionally thought of as writing the gospel according to Matthew, was the tax collector Matthew, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Luke was not a Jew. He was a Gentile. He spent a whole lot of time with Jesus and spent a whole lot of time with Paul. He was one of Paul's traveling companions. Luke was super intelligent.
So was he a doctor? Okay.
Yeah, the good Dr. Luke. And he was writing to a broader audience, mostly a Gentile audience.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you can kind of get the idea, even looking at the two gospels side to side. Matthew is all about proving to Jews that Jesus is the
Messiah.
fulfillment of all the prophecies, and he is the Messiah that was, prophesied about by all,
Yeah.
Luke is talking to people with a non-Jewish context, showing how Jesus is the savior of the world.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So you got two kind of different sort of, I guess, arguments maybe, or, cases being built here. And so this is why Luke goes through all in much more detail, the whole thing.
I love the way both of them start though, because Matthew starts with Abraham, but
Yes.
his announcement is, this is the record of genealogy of Jesus the Messiah.
Yeah.
And then Luke just straight up starts with Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just says, there's this guy
Yeah.
that I met.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first clue that we get about what Matthew's doing in his genealogy is right in the first verse. He says, the book of the genealogy of Jesus Christ, or Jesus Messiah, the son of David, the son of Abraham.
Jewish patriarch.
Iconic Jewish figures. The covenant came through Abraham. The royal throne came through David,
Yep.
right? And the
Gotcha.
Messiah was supposed to come through the line of David.
Yep.
And this is a very interesting thing because Matthew is constructing this genealogy to point to David. Now, Luke is going to construct his genealogy
To point to Jesus.
it is to point to Jesus, but
Yeah.
also
All the way back to Adam.
but it's
Son
Jesus.
of God.
Okay, so here let's just get into it. So Matthew says at the end of his genealogy, and he talks about everybody from, to Ram was born Aminadab, and to Aminadab Nahshon, and to Nahshon Salmon, and to Salmon was born Boaz, and Boaz Obed. And then he gets to David, was born Solomon by her who had been the wife of Uriah, and then he goes Zerubbabel and Abihud and Eliakim and Azor and all this stuff, and he gets down to the end, and he says, to Eliud was born Eleazar, to Eleazar Mathan, and to Mathan Jacob, and to Jacob was born Joseph, the husband of Mary, by whom was born Jesus, who is called Christ or Messiah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you look at verse 17 here, and you see how he structured this. He says, therefore, all the generations from Abraham to David are 14 generations. And from David to the deportation to Babylon, 14 generations. And from the deportation to Babylon to the time of Christ, 14 generations.
Gotcha.
Okay. So that's how Matthew structures his. When you get to Luke, you find out something completely different. Luke puts his in, actually, it wasn't Luke chapter 3. What am I thinking about? It is Luke chapter, oh, it's in there somewhere. Anyway, Luke outlines 77 generations.
Wow.
Yeah. 77 generations. Yeah, it is in Luke chapter 3. It's just at the end.
You say, I was looking for it.
Yeah, it is. It's right after Jesus is baptized. He goes through the genealogy. So here we see a clue also. Matthew tells his genealogy before the birth narrative. Luke tells the birth narrative first and then tells the genealogy.
Okay.
So it's sort of a bookend sort of situation. But he says, it says, and when he began his ministry, Jesus himself was about 30 years of age, being supposedly, or it was thought to be, the son of Joseph, the son of Eli. And we're going to get into that here in a minute. But then he goes all the way down to Adam. And he does 77 generations. And so if you get into the numerology just a little bit, you can see what they're doing here. Because Matthew's 3 times 14, first of all, if you do gematria is the numerical stuff that is in the Hebrew language.
Okay.
So every Hebrew letter is also a number.
Right.
So if you add up, this is where we talked about gematria in the 666 in Revelation and all that kind of stuff. So if you do gematria with the name David, it is 646.
Oh, this is like the number 23 thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's 464. the DVD.
Okay.
It makes 14. So you get that right off the bat. So you got the number 14. So you got 3 sets of 14. And so Matthew is essentially writing David, David, David.
Gotcha.
Like the whole thing is going to be saturated because it's all pointing to Jesus coming from the line of David.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. But here's the funny thing about this. Matthew actually manipulates the genealogy to make it 14. He does it on purpose. He leaves some people out. He adds some people in.
So he was intentionally doing this 14 thing. Like
That's exactly right. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. Now, Luke 77, what we see in Luke 77, we see 11 sets of 7.
there's that 7.
Yes. 7 is the number of perfection
Yeah.
and completion multiplied by 11. So, a couple of interesting notes here. We're talking about numerology and names, things like that. Well, if you go all the way back to Genesis 4, you see this story of Lamech. Lamech is the first truly evil person we see in the human story.
Yeah.
And he has first of all, he has 2 wives. It's the first time we see polygamy.
And he's evil.
He's evil. He absolutely is. And he boasts and he sings this song to his wives to keep them in their place. It's like, this is how tough I am. I killed a young man for striking me or something like that.
Oh, I remember us talking about that.
Yeah. And so he knows the story about Cain being forgiven 7-fold.
Yeah.
Well, he says if Cain is going to be forgiven sevenfold, then Lamech will be forgiven 77. And then you remember Jesus and Peter. Peter says, somebody sins against us, so we forgive them 7 times. And Jesus says, no,
7 times 77.
Yeah, exactly. Some say 70 times 7, others say 77, depending on the manuscript you have.
Yeah.
So
some are right and some are wrong.
That's exactly right. So Lamech represents escalating violence and revenge. Jesus, whose genealogy totals 77, represents the reversal of that curse, forgiveness and restoration instead of vengeance. So there's that little side trip there. But Luke, going back to Adam, also emphasizes universality. Jesus isn't just for Jews, but for all humanity, and so on and so forth.
Well, I like that.
Yeah. So I want to. I found this really.
Was Adam a Jew?
No, Adam was not a Jew. The Jews didn't come about. In fact, Abraham was not a Jew.
Okay, sure.
No. They didn't become Jews until really when God names them Israel in the Exodus. You know, they were Hebrews. Because they came from that.
Coffee place.
Yeah, but Jacob his name was changed to Israel. Yeah. And so,
so that was the start of the Jews,
descendants of Jacob, descendants of Israel, the children of Israel, shall we say?
And gotcha.
Isn't Matthew's genealogy more focused on Joseph's side and Luke's focused more on Mary's?
We're going to get into that just a little bit. There's some gray areas when it comes to this because we're going to see one big sticking point. But here's what we have in Matthew's genealogy. We have 14, 14, 14. So you have 6 sets of 7, right?
Yeah.
Jesus then becomes the 7th 7.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in Luke's, you have 11 times 7, 77.
Yeah.
Jesus becomes
the 12th.
The 12th.
Yeah.
So you can see all of the 12 tribes of Israel, the whole
divine order.
The 12 is the number of completion as well. 7 is perfection. So Jesus is... and also, it goes back to Daniel, the 70 weeks of 7.
Yep.
That Jesus embodies the 70 weeks of 7. He's the fulfillment of what would have been the most well-known prophetic vision to even Gentiles at that time. So you're seeing how all this is sort of telegraphing this theological information. So we're not getting, and Luke throws in all these extra people that Matthew leaves out.
Yeah.
Because he's trying to paint a theological picture here.
Did you see the Saturday Night Live skit with Nate Bargatze where they're doing the genealogy
I did not see it. I heard about it, but I didn't see it.
Yeah, because Joseph is like, Joseph, the father, well, I guess he'd be the stepfather of Jesus.
Yeah.
He's like, do they tell stories about me? And Nate Bargatze's like the guy, and he's like, David, they talk about you. He like goes to the next, and Joseph's like, but what about me, Jesus?
No, they don't tell any stories about you. So this is a really cool article. There's a guy named Chuck Missler, and Chuck Missler is a Bible nerd. He's like Michael Heiser liked. To me.
Is he into the supernatural as much?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
He kind of popularized it before the Unseen Realm came along.
Okay, so he was a little before.
Yes, a little bit. Right. But he talks about the genealogy of Christ, and I this blew my mind. He says, when we go back to the birth of Christ, and his genealogy is full of surprises. It's protected with a security system written into the text. There's an authentication code which acts like an automatic security monitor and watches every little letter of the text. The system never wears out and has been running continually for several thousand years. It's the fingerprint signature of the author, and it is designed to avoid compromise. So he's setting this whole thing up like there's all this stuff locked away.
Yeah. And
he's right. Some of this is a little sensationalist, but I love reading about it anyway. So he talks about the 7s. Now he says to illustrate he calls it the the heptadic sevenfold structure of the text is the fingerprint of the author. So try to illustrate this, try to create a fictitious genealogy. Could be the genealogy of anybody. But here's the rules. The number of words you use must be divisible by 7 exactly. The number of letters you use must be divisible by 7 exactly. The number of vowels divisible by 7. Consonants divisible by 7. The number of words that begin with the vowel must be divisible by 7. The number of words that begin with a consonant must be divisible by 7.
I don't think I'd be able to do it.
Okay, so he says, if you only have one rule, you have one chance in 7 of getting it right. But if you have 2 rules and you do it just by random chance, you'll have one chance in 49 of getting it right.
Okay.
But we have more rules. So the number of words that occur more than once must be divisible by 7, occur that in more than one form must be divisible by 7, and occur in only one form must be divisible by 7. And here's just a few more rules for your genealogy. The number of nouns shall be divisible by 7. Only 7 words shall not be nouns. The number of names shall be divisible by 7. Only 7 other kinds of nouns are permitted. The number of male names divisible by 7. The number of generations divisible by 7.
So there's like 70,000 rules is what you're saying.
That's basically it. But this is the way that Matthew constructed his genealogy.
Good Lord.
Okay. So he says this is a description of the genealogy of Jesus Christ as found in the first 11 verses of Matthew. And all of this has to be in the Greek language, which is probably the most precise, rigid language ever written. And each letter has its own Greek alphanumeric number. And he's got this chart, and he goes through, these are the 9 rules for this genealogy. There is one chance in over 40 million of creating this genealogy by random chance.
That's pretty good odds, ain't it, Pat?
Yeah.
Did you buy a Powerball ticket? That's about the same odds, ain't it?
Here's
one chance in how many? 49 million?
40 million.
See,
40 million.
I'm going to cheat. I'm going to say there's one rule, and everything has to be divisible by 7.
Well,
Yeah.
There you go. So it says,
Makes my odds better.
how long would it take for somebody to construct such a genealogy? Just sort of randomly. It says, assume they will work 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, 50 weeks a year, and have 2 weeks off for Christmas. That's 2,000 hours per week, 120,000 minutes per year. The number of attempts needed, if this is randomized, would be 7 to the 9th power, or 79. That would be over 40 million attempts.
7 to the 9th power?
Yeah, it's gonna.
So it's also divisible by 7?
I guess maybe it is. So this little project will take about 3,000 years of work to just do it randomly, right? So if you're saying that Matthew just threw a bunch of names on the paper, or
he's a good odds man.
Yeah, he actually is. There's this guy he refers to named Dr. Ivan Panin, and he was born in Russia in 1855. Immigrated to the United States at an early age, graduated from Harvard with a PhD in mathematics. In 1882, he became a Christian, and when he discovered this stuff, he spent the rest of his life.
Wow. And, genealogy is, I feel like it's honestly, most people would consider genealogy the most boring, some of the most boring aspects of the Bible.
Completely. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying what a lot of you are thinking.
Well, you know what's funny about that though? That we all have that one family member though who is really big into genealogy.
Yeah.
And it's like, you were related to Pocahontas.
Yeah.
And all these kind of things like that.
Yeah.
So we can understand if the Messiah is in your genealogy, that it would be pretty important.
But he is.
Yes, he is. We're all sons of God.
Yeah, that's all. And then you're right, Pat. I mean, like I said, my uncle, he has traced us back to like
Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln,
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah.
I mean, so I need to tell him and be like, you're slacking. You got to trace us back to Jesus.
Well, no, say it this way. Okay, you did a great job here. Now I want you to write this down where everything is divisible by 7.
Yes. You're almost there.
Yeah. Here's another really cool thing. Okay, so he gets into the 2 genealogies, just like we've just done, and he gets into Matthew. It focuses on the messiahship of Jesus. That's why he starts with Abraham. Then through David, Solomon, Joseph, the legal father of Jesus. And you'll notice at the end of both of these genealogies, he says, and to Jacob was born Joseph, the husband of Mary, not the father of Jesus.
Yeah.
And he says the husband of Mary, by whom was born Jesus, which takes Mary's agency out of it completely.
Right.
So it was all God's doing, is what he's telegraphing there.
Yeah.
And Joseph basically had nothing to do with it. He was just a good support figure,
Yeah.
right? But Joseph actually has a lot to do with it, as we'll find out in just a second. Okay, so he says, Luke, as a physician, focuses on the humanity of Jesus. He traces the bloodline from Adam, son of God, versus us, the sons of Adam. Once he gets to Abraham, the genealogy is identical to Matthew's up until he gets to the house of David. Mm-hmm. Then he takes a left turn, and he does not go through Solomon. He goes through Nathan, a different son of David.
Okay.
Right.
Then he gets to Mary, the mother of Jesus. Now, if we go to the end of Luke's genealogy, he says it a little bit differently. He says, to the beginning, actually, it says Jesus was about 30 years of age, being supposedly the son of Joseph. Mm-hmm. He doesn't mention Mary here, but he does mention Joseph. So
why does he say supposedly the son of Joseph?
Well,
Thought to be.
Yeah, thought to be is probably a better way, honestly.
So did most people, like outsiders in this, just assume that they got knocked up outside of wedlock?
Yep.
Okay.
That was a scandal that followed.
So they would have considered Jesus a bastard child.
Yep, they absolutely would.
Gotcha.
And then later it comes out because they're like, well, we know who our father is.
Yeah.
You know.
That's a swipe at Jesus. Yeah, we know who our father is. You don't know who your father is.
Yeah.
And then he drops the bomb before Abraham was, I am.
Yeah.
Yes.
He gets him with that.
Yeah.
So let's just to give you a little bit of a taste of things that are locked away in this genealogy.
Okay.
We'll look at Luke's just for a second. If you look at the last 10 people mentioned at the end of Luke 3, he's going backwards. He says, which was the son of Noah, which was the son of Lamech. We already saw Lamech.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Son of Methuselah, who was the son of Enoch, who was the son of Jared, which was the son of Maleleel, which was the son of Canaan, which was the son of Enos, which was of the son of Seth, which was the son of Adam, which was the son of God. Okay, so that's the last 10 names. Now, if we translate those names from their Hebrew roots, they actually spell out a sentence. Okay. There's a hidden message at the end of this genealogy.
I know what one message is.
What?
After Adam, we see a hard right turn with the name. We're like, Adam, Seth, Enosh, Canaan,
Yabba jabba.
Then they're like, their dad was like, well, I'm not teaching you to spell that. Jared.
Yeah, Jared.
Okay, where's all the
we got
Bill
Jared.
and Sam and
George?
Yeah, they took them hard right turns with naming.
So
now, I'm going to ask you a dumb question.
okay.
All right, so you got the names here.
Yeah.
So it was son of Noah, son of Lamech, like goes like that.
Yeah.
So am I understanding that like Enosh was the father of Kenan?
Yes.
And then Kenan was the father of Mahalalel?
Yeah.
Or for the King James people,
Yep.
Adam begot Seth, Seth begot Enosh.
So then Adam was the father of Seth.
Yes.
So Seth is the brother to Cain and Abel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But see, that's the funny thing. You don't see Cain or Abel mentioned anywhere.
That's what
of
I
course,
was.
Abel didn't have any offspring, so it all ended
And
with
Cain
him.
was an idiot.
And he was an idiot. And he had to go off east, and nobody heard from him again.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So I was making sure I was understanding.
That's exactly the way that works.
Gotcha.
But if we go back to their Hebrew roots, Adam, man, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Seth, appointed. Enosh, mortal. Kenan, sorrow. Mahalalel, the blessed God. Jared, shall come down. Enoch, teaching. Methuselah, his death shall bring. Lamech, the despairing. Noah, comfort and rest.
No way. That's crazy.
Is that not crazy?
That is crazy,
So
man.
the sentence reads, man is appointed mortal sorrow, but the blessed God shall come down teaching. And whose death? His death. God's death. His death shall bring the despairing comfort and rest.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
La, 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 la.
It's all
That's
just
exactly right.
happenstance.
Yeah. But then if you go over to Matthew, he with these the genealogy, everything. Okay, so you see the prophecies fulfilled in Matthew.
Yeah.
He would be born of a virgin, comes from Isaiah, and he was, Matthew 1.
Yep.
Be born in Bethlehem, and he was, Matthew 2. Taken into Egypt, and he was, Matthew 2. He would heal and make people whole, and he did, Matthew 8. He would be crucified, and he was, Matthew 27. He would die for our sins, and he did. He would rise from the dead, and he did. All of this stuff is based on and comes out of the genealogy of Matthew, who points to David, points to David, points to David, points to David.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you get all that?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's where it gets a little bit murky. I'm gonna hang on to this just for a second.
And I think it's also interesting too that one genealogy points back to Adam, one points to David, because that's a royal bloodline and a divine bloodline.
Well, and you remember it was a requirement of Messiah that Messiah come from the line of David.
Right.
Has to be. So this is one of the ways that Matthew is making sure everybody knows.
Yep.
When he
Checks the box.
Yeah, and when Chuck Missler is talking about a security system, that's what he's doing. He's building a fence around this idea.
Gotcha.
There will be no doubt that Jesus is the Messiah. You can't discount him on the idea that he was not from the line of David.
Right.
And here's the deal. There is reason to not be convinced that Jesus comes from the line of David.
Really?
Yeah, there is. Because, and it all hinges on the Joseph problem.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so here's where it gets a little, like I said, a little bit murky. So Matthew and Luke give Joseph two different fathers.
Oh.
So if you read in Matthew, it says, to Jacob was born Joseph, the husband of Mary, by whom was born Jesus, who is called Christ. If you go on over to Luke, you see when he began
Eli.
being supposedly the son of Joseph, who was the son of Eli or Heli. So how do we deal with this?
He had two dads. It was 2025.
Two dads. Yeah. Joseph and his two dads.
Yes.
He was a very progressive person. Yeah.
See, that's weird that they supplement Jacob for Eli, because then it comes to Mathan is right next in line.
Well, what are you talking about?
Because Mathan is Eli's dad or Jacob's dad, depending on how you read it.
Yeah, it would be Eli. But see, Mathan, Jacob, and so it has the same dad of two different guys.
Maybe it was one of those, the brother died and had to.
Okay, there are several theories, and that is one of them.
I just asked the Terminator.
What Terminator?
Yeah.
So it says Jesus' earthly father, Joseph, son of Jacob or Heli.
Yep.
And it is interesting. And it says here, so Joseph's father would equal Jacob. Joseph's father would equal Heli. That looks like a contradiction, but it isn't. Why two different fathers? This is one of those places where Jewish genealogy law matters. Matthew gives Joseph's biological, legal, royal line. Luke gives Mary's family line.
That is one of the theories.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Luke means Joseph's son-in-law of Heli, which means Heli was Mary's father.
That is one of the theories, is that Luke is giving Mary's genealogy more than Joseph's genealogy.
So even now, Joseph can't even get any credit.
No,
even
he can't. But there's actually a couple of even more compelling. Now, okay, this one's not as compelling. This is what Pat just brought up, which is the Leverett marriage.
So is there ever a genealogy on Mary?
No.
Okay.
Unless you consider Luke's to be more about Mary than it is Joseph.
Gotcha. So I was going to say, there's no way to be like, well, yeah, Mary's father was Heli.
No.
Dang.
I mean, you can't. You can read that into the text.
Luke and them really could have put that to rest real quick.
Yeah.
I know.
But like I said, and I can see where the Levite marriage rules would apply if Joseph's father were to die.
Yeah.
And the brother would have to take on, because, like I said, they have the same grandfather.
Yeah.
So it would be reason to say that these are two different sons' names.
Right. And so this says that maybe Jacob and Heli were half brothers. And when one died childless, the other married his widow, making Joseph legally the son of one, but biologically the son of the other. Yeah. So that's one theory. I consider that to be a weaker theory, because if it had something to do with Leverett marriage, Matthew for sure would have
jumped on it. Yeah, that's true, because that's the Jewish one.
Yeah, and Luke probably would have signaled us in some way.
That's true.
So then another theory is Mary's genealogy theory, that Luke is giving Mary's genealogy, not Joseph's. So Heli is Mary's father. But if you want to go with the text says explicitly son of Joseph, son of Heli.
Yeah.
And so, and also, there's no real reason in a patriarchal culture for Luke to do a woman's genealogy.
Right.
Now, it's interesting because Luke does not include any women in his genealogy.
I was going to say that because we saw Ruth and Rahab in
Matthew does. Can you name the 4 in Matthew?
Rahab, Ruth, is Tamar one?
Yes, Tamar. You're forgetting the most obvious one, Pat. You're gonna die when I say it.
Oh, what is it?
It's Bathsheba.
Ah!
Only
Get out of here.
Only Matthew does not call her by name. She says the wife of Uriah.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll get into that too.
Okay.
See, we're finding out little Easter eggs and nuggets along the way.
Hey, I got 3 out of 4 at 75.
I know that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Except for you missed the wide open 3.
Yeah, well, that's about David. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so Mary's genealogy. A lot of people will go with it, but I'm a little suspect of that.
So where are you falling?
Well, I actually fall into the adoption camp. Okay, so let me find it.
That Joseph was adopted?
Kind of, sort of. Okay, so this is less. Okay, so Joseph could be the biological son of one man, but the adopted / legal son of another. So, in other words, what would happen sometimes is, so let's imagine that Heli only had daughters. When Heli dies, his part of the family name and inheritance and everything goes away.
Yeah.
So oftentimes what they would do is actually adopt the new husband as a legal son, legal inheritor, legal
gotcha.
to pass the
torch.
Yeah, exactly.
So Joseph's just coming into families left and right and just constantly marrying up.
He's like, you don't have to mention my name. I'm going to get all that property when I die. Yeah. And it's interesting because it says in Luke's genealogy, he says, being supposedly the son of Joseph, and the word son is not in the original manuscript. So it really reads literally, being supposedly son of Joseph of Eli.
So would that mean he was the legal son of Joseph, but he was born to Heli?
No, he would be born to Jacob.
Or not Joseph, Jacob.
And then adopted as a legal heir.
So Heli would have
It does
adopted
say
him.
of Eli.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that word son is not in there. So that's one of the reasons why it causes me to kind of lean that way.
Yeah.
Now there is another kind of theory, if you can call it that.
Yeah, because right here in the manuscript, the word son is huios, but then right there for Joseph, son of Eli, it's the word ho. It means of.
Of.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Gotcha.
So
it's different Greek words.
Yep, different Greek words. That's kind of why I sort of I don't know, sort of lean that way. There also is the uncle theory. This comes from Eusebius, who says that he got it from Julius Africanus. And the theory goes like this. Mathan, Matthew's genealogy, and Melchi Mathat, Luke's genealogy, married the same woman sequentially. She was widowed, then remarried. This made Jacob and Heli half brothers, same mother, different fathers, and then we get into the Levirate thing.
Gotcha.
So that's how you get the uncle theory.
I asked it, what are some of the wild theories on it? And it does say, it shows one here. It says the 2 messianic bloodlines theory.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It says God deliberately built 2 separate Davidic lines, one through Solomon, royal kingship, and one through Nathan, uncursed bloodline.
We have to get into that too.
It says Jesus inherits royal right through Joseph and blood right through Mary.
Yeah.
This avoids Jeremiah's curse on King Jeconiah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was getting at earlier, that one line from Mary's side comes from a divine, and then from Joseph's side comes from the Davidic side. So it's legally and divinic in its principle.
Yeah. And see, this is where another murky place, because if you go back to, I think it's in Chuck Missler's article here. if I can find, yes, here's the blood curse. So let's get into that just for a second, because you do have to answer the question. Okay, Joseph is important because Joseph provides the legal claim to the line of David.
Right.
Yeah.
It's possible, we don't know, it's possible that Mary might have been through the line of David, but they only counted the men. And so Jesus had to be directly connected to the line of David.
Gotcha.
In order to qualify as the Messiah. And so it's important for both genealogies for everybody to know that Joseph took Jesus as his own son.
Yep. Legally.
If a king back in the day had daughters and, you know, he passes the throne on, could he adopt a child? They would consider that
Yes.
child of the royal bloodline.
Yes.
Okay.
Caesars actually did that.
Really?
Yeah. In fact, what wasn't it? The one who called himself Augustus, wasn't he originally Octavius?
Octavius.
And
Okay.
was adopted by.
Or was that Tiberius?
I don't remember.
I think it was Valerius.
But
Yeah.
one of the most
I
famous.
think it was Octavius.
One of the most famous Caesars was
his
adopted.
nephew. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that would consider you. So then would his children would
Yep.
then be royal bloodline?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Here's the interesting thing about adoption in the Greco-Roman world is you had to go through this very elaborate ceremony. The one that was going to be adopted had to, if they were not infants, had to make a declaration. The father had to make a declaration. It was all done in the public square. There was documents to be signed. And the interesting thing is that that adopted child would have full inheritance.
Yep.
And you could never disown an adopted child.
That's right.
Oh, wow.
You could
Disown your own.
a biological.
Yep.
Is it because you're choosing?
Yep.
And you're putting everything on the line for that child.
Gotcha.
You know, they don't have anything else if you disown
Wow.
them. Yeah. And you know, if you disown your biological child, they still have your family name.
Yeah.
So anyway.
That's interesting.
Okay, so let's get into this blood curse for a second, and then we'll finish up with the odd choice of women in Matthew's genealogy.
We've all been there.
Yeah. Of course, we have lots of women in our lives who made odd choices of men.
That's true. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So back in Jeremiah 22. Okay. So now, one of the things that Matthew does very strategically is he leaves out a lot of the terrible kings in the genealogy. He's just like, they don't even need to be in there. Plus, it messes up his formula. So,
Yeah.
okay. So
Jeremiah 22.
we got this King Jehoiachin, or sometimes called Jeconiah. God pronounces a blood curse on him. It says, "Thus says the Lord, write you this man childless, that a man that shall not prosper in his days, for no man of his seed shall prosper, sitting upon the throne of David and ruling any more in Judah."
That's a capital S in sitting.
Really? Oh, interesting. It doesn't have that in this little paper that I have. But he says, Chuck Missler says, when God pronounced this blood curse, there must have been a celebration in the councils of Satan, because from Satan's point of view, God has now put himself in a contradiction. God says the Messiah is going to come from the tribe of Judah, specifically from the line of David, and then God pronounces a blood curse on that royal line, that no man of his seed shall prosper, sitting upon the throne of David and ruling any more in Judah.
This says that the word sitting is specifically about a judge. So this would be the judge.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So
yeah. It's same here.
Yeah.
Sitting capital. Wow.
there you go. So it must be talking about divine sitting.
For no man of his descendants would prosper judging on the throne of David
There
or
you go.
ruling in
There you
Judah.
go. Okay, so this is how God, you know, basically he goes, he doesn't blink. He just
Right.
goes right around Jehoiakim. It says, you know, Jacob begat Joseph, the husband of Mary, so on and so forth. Joseph is the husband of Mary, not the father of Jesus, except in a legal sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so what this exception does is it provides for the husband to become the son of the father of the bride. So this is the adoption thing,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And so this exception, well, this was actually okay. I'm gonna give you the backstory on that. Okay, there's a peculiar exception to this blood curse recorded in the Torah. The result of a petition by the daughters of Zelophehad, which provided for inheritance through the daughter if no sons were available, and she married within her tribe. In such cases, the father would legally adopt his son-in-law.
Okay.
Okay, so this is Chuck says this is exactly what happened. And so when you get into all of the, like the dream that Joseph saw, and Joseph got 2 dreams, everybody else got 1.
Because men are hard-headed.
That's exactly right.
Took a little
but
convincing.
he says, fear not to take unto you Mary for your wife, for that which is conceived of her is the Holy Ghost. She shall bring forth a son. You shall call his name Jesus. He will save the people from all their sin. Okay. He says the blood curse from Jeremiah 22 is closely tied to this issue. In fact, when we examine closely the blood curse on the royal line, the virgin birth becomes a requirement. So now you notice that the genealogy given in Luke comes down through Heli, who was the father-in-law of Joseph. Jesus Christ, the Messiah, is of the house and lineage of David, of the house of David legally, and of the lineage by blood. That lineage is not the bloodline through Solomon, but through Nathan, the second surviving son of David and Bathsheba. In other words, Luke takes a left turn and goes to another son, not Solomon, but Nathan. How about that? What do you think
Nathan
about that?
is like you said, the clean blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nathan is not sullied by a blood curse.
So it's a genealogy transfusion.
Yeah. But it also it makes it very, very clear that the Father is God.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just like both genealogies will say the same thing. So that's how we get around the tricky parts of the differences between these genealogies.
Interesting.
So now we have the numbers. We have the.
So what do you think, Pat?
About what?
Who do you think Joseph's dad was?
You?
It was.
I don't know. I believe that both names in the genealogy were a part of it, whether it be adoption, brother, Levitical marriage, whatever. I believe both names are mentioned for a reason. They're both important, and so I think they both had a role in Joseph's life. I don't know which one was.
So you're saying Jacob and Heli?
Yeah. We don't know which one was daddy and which one was father.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Very politician answer you gave me there, Pat.
Thank you. I'm running next year.
So even Joseph doesn't know who his father is.
Yeah. What a loser.
Neither is Jesus, right? They're like, you don't know who your daddy is? Joseph's like, yeah, me either.
They bonded over that.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go be carpenters. Come on.
Yes, exactly. So let's get into this whole surprising situation that out of all of these iconic people that Matthew has in his genealogy,
women's.
Yeah, let's get into the women's, because and there's more number stuff in all this stuff too. If you look at Luke's 11:7s, there are 3 places in his genealogy where somebody important is number 7.
Okay.
Abraham is number 7. Enoch is number 7, and then he mentions Joseph and Jesus twice, because
at number 7.
One of them.
Yeah.
And once in the middle and once at the end.
Yeah.
It's quite fascinating. Here's another. Oh, I forgot about this too. Here's another little tidbit. Okay, so if you look at, I'm going to mess this up.
Okay.
But
We'll forgive you.
thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so there is one name in here there are 2 names that are actually translated in English incorrectly.
Okay.
There is Ahaz and Ammon. If you read the original Hebrew or Greek, which comes from the Hebrew names, Matthew calls Ahaz Asaph. Do you remember Asaph, Pat?
Not off the top of my head.
Wrote some of the Psalms. Remember?
Oh, really?
Asaph.
No.
Yeah.
Same one?
But it's not him that he's talking about, or it is?
It is him, but he gives them the name from the Psalms.
Ah, okay.
And then when he gets to Ammon, he actually the name is Amos.
But so was this a mistake Matthew made?
Matthew's doing this on purpose to make you sit up and pay attention.
Gotcha.
This would have been a wink to his Jewish audience.
Yeah, it says right here in the Greek it's Amos.
And so here's the deal. What he's doing here is he's tying the genealogy of Jesus to the Psalms and also to the prophets. And then when he gets down here to Jacob is his namesake was named Israel, and it points to the Torah. So Matthew is is packing into his genealogy
Okay.
the idea that Jesus owns the Psalms and owns the prophets and owns the Torah.
Gotcha.
Basically.
He's being sneaky.
These Jewish people would know these names.
Yeah.
They know exactly what he did, and so instead of like if you want to say who was born to Robert the Great, only you call him Jim Bob.
Bobby.
Yeah.
Bobby, big Bobby.
But you know what that means, right?
Right.
You know who Robert the Great is. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I see what you did there, Matthew.
Yeah.
Bobby G.
Okay.
I just think that is like one of the coolest
That
things.
is
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So, okay.
I
now,
never would have put that together. It was Asaph, though. But now when I'm looking at it in genealogy, it makes sense. He's the great grandson of Solomon.
Yes.
And we know that. Yeah.
he wrote a bunch of the Psalms in
Yeah.
there. He had a whole troupe of musicians and singers that,
Yep.
he hung out with all the time. And Amos, we all know about Amos. Amos was the
Cookie maker.
Yeah.
Yes, that's famous.
Famous Amos.
Man, that I'm not gonna lie, that bakes my noodle a little bit.
It does, doesn't it? It absolutely does. Okay, so let's get into these women. Now,
The women's
this is so weird that first of all that Matthew would include women.
Yeah.
It's
Because they had like no authority at all.
and it doesn't even matter. They don't even matter.
and it's a motley crew that he chooses to.
Well,
Yeah.
see, here's the deal. If you were going to write a genealogy of Jesus, going all the way back to Abraham, what women would you be sure to include if you did include women at all?
Man.
The best looking ones.
I mean, how about Sarah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about Rebecca?
Yeah.
I mean, there's how about Leah? How about just all of those are in the line, but he leaves all those wonderful women out,
Yeah.
and he puts in these 4.
Yeah.
Okay,
What are we starting with? Tamar?
we got to start with Tamar. Yes. So, do you know the story of Tamar? Do you remember it?
Isn't that the Mother's Day? Didn't you do a Mother's
Yeah,
Day
I
sermon
did.
on Tamar?
I
yeah.
did.
She's the one who tricked the king into thinking she was a prostitute.
That's right. Yeah, she
It
went
wasn't
into
the king.
the
It was
king.
Judah,
Judah. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the lion of the tribe of
Right,
Judah.
right.
Yeah. And see what had happened was that one of Judah's sons gets married to Tamar. He's a very evil person, and so he dies. God smites him.
That's what happens to evil people.
And so we got the levirate marriage, right? So the next brother in line is
Won't
supposed
give
to.
her a kid.
No, he will not. And this, we could go into this, but we'll not go into this.
I'm gonna say, is she just not good looking?
No, she apparently is very good looking, but the men that the sons of Judah here are
They're evil.
incredibly wicked, and so God smites him too. So now there's one other son left, and Judah's going like, you know what? She might be the problem.
Yeah, he's like, nope,
Yeah, she's
not
the
doing
common denominator here.
And so he's supposed to marry her, and Judah says, no, he's way too young. He can't get married yet. So you just hang out at your father's house. She goes back to her father's house. And she's sitting there stewing the whole time because now she's got no future.
Yeah.
And she also has some sort of understanding that something's got to come through the line of Judah.
Yeah.
And so, something's got to happen here, and she's got to be a part of this. And so Judah's wife dies. Okay. So he's now a single man. There is this sheep shearing festival going on.
Where you always pick up the
That's
ladies.
exactly right.
Well, Tamar took place in Wyoming. So
And that's exactly
Yes.
right.
Yes.
So that's why I can't have the line of Judah come through a sheep, right?
Yeah.
And so she dresses herself up like a prostitute. Now, so many people will call Tamar the prostitute. She was
Yep.
not a prostitute.
Nope.
She never was.
she was
Yeah.
an
She
actress.
I played one on TV.
She
Anyway.
dressed fancy.
She dresses up as a prostitute, puts herself at the city gates, and Judah's coming through and going like, hey, it's been a while since my wife died. I'm out of town. Nobody knows who I am. Anyway, it's a long involved. She gets pregnant by Judah,
Yeah.
her father-in-law.
Who she was supposed to.
Doesn't
oh,
Judah
yes,
give her?
her father. Yeah.
Doesn't Judah give her a ring?
He gives her a staff.
Oh,
And
man.
like
Yes.
a signet.
I remember
Yeah.
because you talked about that in your sermon. I remember
so
that.
crazy.
Yeah, because she's like, "Oh, really? You gonna say
Well,
that?"
and so she comes back around when she's about 3 months pregnant, and he obviously he throws a fit,
Yeah.
and he says, "Light the fire. We're going to burn her because that's what we do to women like this." And she says, "Okay, but first of all,
Here's your stuff.
Whoever this belongs to,
Yeah,
needs
and
to be burned right
he's
along
like,
with me."
"Shh,
I know, and
stop.
come
on, you move in.
yeah, and so he ends up saying, "You are more righteous
Than me."
than I."
Yep.
Yeah.
And she gives birth to twins. And let's see if I can find this in here. There you go, right at the top. Perez was one of them. Okay, so This plays out in many different ways, but then we get down to Rahab.
Oh yeah, the prostitute.
She is a prostitute.
Yeah, the prostitute.
In fact,
Capital T.
everywhere in the Bible, she's referred to as Rahab the harlot.
Yep.
Yeah, I was thinking on the harlot.
Yeah. So remember the story of Jericho, right?
The walls.
Rahab hides the Israelite spies, betrays her own city, and so she's rewarded, and she marries into Israel. And Rahab, it says here,
Boaz, ain't it?
no, yes, Boaz, yes. So to Judah were born Perez and Zerah by Tamar. Perez was born Benadab to Nahshon Salmon.
Peter
Salmon
ruined Boaz for me.
I know.
Yoaz better know Boaz.
I was going to say, I can't even hear Boaz without thinking that.
I know. I'm sorry about that. Yoaz bit Boaz. I got a little bit of blowback on that one.
Yeah.
Oh, man, you didn't get it from me.
But Rahab ended up marrying Boaz. Yeah.
No. Rahab.
Oh, man.
Rahab begat Boaz.
Oh, was she mama to Boaz?
To Salmon was born Boaz by Rahab.
Okay.
Yeah. Rahab's his mama.
You're right.
Yep. And so here so far
Boaz had Ruth.
So far you've got two Gentile women. One pretends to be a prostitute, then has her father-in-law knock her up. Here's Rahab, who is a prostitute, who ends up marrying and begetting Boaz, right? Okay. So now we get Ruth. Ruth is a Moabite.
Yep, great baseball player.
Yep. And so you can read all about it in the whole book of Ruth. I mean, it's a very famous story.
It really is, yeah.
She swears allegiance to Naomi, but also in the process swears allegiance to her God.
Now, you also did a Mother's Day sermon on Ruth.
Yeah, absolutely did.
You didn't do one on Rahab.
Yes, I did. Didn't I do Rahab?
Did you do Rahab?
I'm pretty sure I did.
No, I thought it was Naomi, bitter.
I think I did one on Rahab, but that might have been early on. I don't remember. Yeah, I did Bathsheba first.
Yes.
And then Rahab the next year.
Yeah, because that one was my mom's favorite was your Bathsheba one.
Yeah, I've had to preach that one 3 times now.
Yeah. So you did do Rahab.
I did. It was. Okay. I need to probably reserect that one.
Because
that's a great story.
I think that was BP.
I've heard prostitutes make great mothers.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you can get them off the heroin. We were talking about John Prine the other day, and one of my favorite John Prine songs is "There's a Hole in Daddy's Arm Where All the Money Goes."
Wow, there's a hole in Daddy's arm. Yeah. Man, that's a heavy sounding song.
A depressing song, but it's so incredibly well written. So she is a Moabite. Mm-hmm. There is a law in the Torah that Moabites will never ever be allowed in the temple, and you should never ever. You can marry anybody you want. Don't ever marry a Moabite. Mm-hmm. And here she is, a Moabite woman, and she swears allegiance to Yahweh. They come back to Bethlehem, ironically, and she is out gathering in the fields. She meets Boaz, and Boaz becomes her kinsman redeemer. And if you want to get into the nuts and bolts of that, it is the story of Jesus, Jesus the Messiah through, it's told in this story.
Yep.
Very expertly written, beautiful piece of literature. But, and again, here we go.
What was the other daughter-in-law who kicked rocks on Naomi?
Orpha. Yeah, not Oprah.
Yeah, I kept calling her Oprah. I know. Because you said not Oprah, and that's why I wrote down Oprah.
She went back. Yeah. But Ruth, so we're 3 for 3.
Yeah.
3 Gentiles, 3. And we probably ought not to get into too much about how she sort of introduced herself to Boaz, right?
Mm-hmm. Was that when she went into
uncovered his feet?
Yeah. Because it's not what you think it is.
Yeah. But basically
took his work boots off.
Yeah.
Whether or not you believe that uncovered his feet is a euphemism for something more. We have to say that Ruth proposed to Boaz.
Yeah.
She said, "Take me as your wife, and spread the covering of your name over me and Naomi and everything."
Mm-hmm. You know what's really interesting here?
What's that?
So we start with a girl pretending to be a prostitute, a girl who was a prostitute. Then we get to a girl who comes on to a guy.
Yeah.
And then now we're about to get to Bathsheba.
Uh-huh.
Maybe we're looking for love in all the wrong places.
And here we go. So we know the story from 2 Samuel, right? It's a very well-worn story that David sees her bathing. He's not supposed to be looking at her bathing.
He's supposed to be out of war.
That idle time is the devil's playground.
And so he summons her to his inner chambers.
Means ordered
And
her
she
to
is
come
married at this time.
She is married.
to Uriah.
Absolutely.
To one of his like best military generals or something. isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Now we're not clear about the ethnicity of Bathsheba, but she is married to a non-Israelite.
Okay.
Uriah is a Hittite.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now they both pledged allegiance to Yahweh, so they're both Yahweh worshipers. We don't have any problem with that.
Uriah is? Okay.
Yeah, for sure. And Uriah is one of David's right-hand men.
Yeah.
So anyway, David impregnates her. And so now he's going to try to cover it up. He gets her husband off the battle lines.
Terrible.
He says, go have fun with your wife. And he says, no, because we're supposed to be celibate as long as we're fighting for the Lord.
Yep.
Wouldn't that just chap your butt? It's like, man, come on, man. I'm trying to help you out. And he's just being such a good guy.
I know.
It's like,
Just like, let Bathsheba uncover your feet.
He won't even sleep on a bed. He sleeps at the door, the entrance to the doorway.
this is just like, it's just adding insult to injury to David. Yeah.
I know. And so
David's on the roof going, come on.
He sends him back into battle with his own death warrant in his hand.
Yep.
And it's murder. Basically.
Yeah, that's terrible.
So now
Always felt bad for that guy.
Oh, it's terrible. It's
And
awful.
he was probably like an Achilles type guy too.
I was gonna say he was like a
probably
savage.
like a boss at war.
Yeah.
Okay, so now this is an interesting thing because this woman is not mentioned in the genealogy, but the next woman in line is Mary.
So is Bathsheba Mary's mother?
No.
What I'm saying is that literarily, he's including these 4 women to set up and take the edge off the scandal that Mary's going to cause.
So that's why he's talking about prostitutes and that wedlock.
He said, unless you get a little bit too full of yourself.
Yeah.
And with all this bloodline purity stuff. Take a look here.
That's very interesting setup there.
It is very interesting. And there's a line in the book of Ruth where Ruth has this child and they say, may your household be like the household of Perez. Well, Perez was the son of Tamar. What are they doing referencing all that stuff, And it's mainly because Tamar's story ended up as a beautiful story and a godly story. And it basically is part of the line of David.
Yeah.
And so what they're saying is, hey, we know you don't belong, but we accept you.
Yeah.
May your household be just like that household, because that is highly exalted.
Isn't that the story of Jesus in a nutshell, though?
It absolutely is. That is, I mean, this is Matthew going, okay, Jews.
Yeah.
Let's be honest about
Get
ourselves.
over yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Now,
the genealogy in Matthew and Luke equals up to Jerry Springer.
it completely does, though. So any other kind of ideas about why Matthew included these women? Because that's kind of the low hanging fruit. This is kind of obvious.
I mean, for me, looking at it in this point of view, this is just the way my mind works. Is do we not do that in the church today? It's anytime someone's a little bit dirty, a little bit broken, a little bit not as holy rollerish as we are. Yep. It's how dare they?
Yeah. As
opposed to no, you got a spot too.
Yeah.
You got a spot here too.
It's so funny too because I've got a lot of preacher friends, pastors, and I remember this one situation where the pastor was trying out basically, and so they had all their conversations and everything else like that, and in the middle of the conversation they asked him if he'd ever been married before, and he said yeah. And well, what happened? I got a divorce, wife left me, it's that and the other, but I've got my beautiful wife now, my restoration project, and they disqualified him.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. And the ridiculous thing about it was that half the church, including half the elders,
had been divorced.
Yeah.
Divorcees.
Yeah. But it wasn't okay for the pastor.
Yeah.
And
even though they're technically in leadership positions.
Absolutely.
Because they're using that phrase where it says one man of one wife.
I know.
And they're in leader, but wouldn't that apply to elders as well?
Well,
if you were going to use it
Absolutely.
directly, if you're going
Yeah.
to quote that Timothy passage, is directly
Well,
pointed
and-
at overseers.
And
Yeah.
it's a misreading of the text.
it is
Because
It's just not polygamy, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
one wife at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I can handle.
Because what
Exactly
happens?
right.
What happens if your wife dies and you remarry?
Well, I guess you're just disqualified
So that means that single men are not qualified for eldership.
because you're not even married.
But they are for
Exactly.
but they are
Yeah.
for popeship.
Right.
they can be the
Exactly.
Pope.
Yes, exactly.
So that would rule out all of the celibate pastors and everything. wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
Or priest, whatever they were. Yeah.
You were man of one wife, never had a wife.
But that's the whole thing
Disqualified.
it's not the, I mean, you can make whatever kind of rules you want, but that's hypocrisy.
Yeah.
If it's going to be good for one, it's going to be good for
That's
everyone.
right.
Not what is it? Rules for thee, but not for me.
That's
Yep.
exactly right.
Yeah.
I think that when we dig into this genealogy stuff here, I mean, I think this is a lot of what Matthew is projecting here. And now, there's one other factor here, and I specifically wanted to ask Claude about this because
Well, I'll tell you one thing I like about this, and it stands out to me constantly in the Bible,
yeah,
is just the fact that so many broken people are used for just outstanding
Dude, look,
things.
I use this analogy all the time. Is 100% of people in the story of the Bible, minus Jesus, are jacked up people.
yeah.
100% of them, every
yeah.
one of them, even people who were righteous, they still are flawed,
Yeah.
right? And here's the deal: it's not because we're supposed to be flawed; it's because we're not Jesus.
Yeah.
well, and the thing is, nobody's ever going to live up to that standard.
That's right.
Yeah.
But yet God will still call Abraham righteous.
Yep.
Even though he pawned his wife off as his sister twice.
Yeah.
He was still called, I mean,
David's
Well,
a
we
guy-
just
a
talked
man-
about David. Yeah.
a
I
man
mean,
after my own heart.
yeah. He
And-
killed one of his
Yeah.
generals or that, and still he's.
and we talked about this in one of our other episodes. If you stacked up the sins of David against the sins of Saul,
Yeah, David wins by a mile.
a
Yeah.
landslide. And
But
yet
he's a
Saul,
master repenter.
Saul was unrighteous and was removed from the throne, and David was a man after
So
God's
yeah,
own heart.
Yeah.
in Scripture we only see two places where Saul was guilty, and
Well, but think about this: who's writing this? Matthew, the despised.
yep.
Yeah.
Tax
Yeah,
collector.
tax collector. He was the lowest of the low.
A
He was-
Jew that sold out to the Romans.
Yeah, he was a Roman conspirator.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and that's what I love it that Jesus, like even his group of guys is just a group of renegades.
Absolutely
Well,
it is.
and think about it. Jesus didn't pick, in today's political standard, he didn't pick left or right. He picked
No.
both.
Yeah.
He said,
That's
give
it.
me your far left, give me your far right, give me your libertarian, give me
Yeah.
all these political beliefs that these people have,
Yep.
and let's put them together.
Yeah, and they were not educated men.
And Jesus told them they're all wrong.
Oh, I'm in good company.
Absolutely. I think we all are. Yeah. But even, but that's one of the reasons, honestly, the whole concept of this podcast that we're doing here is right along those lines. We're
Absolutely.
reverent, but we're rebellious because, and I think one of the things that Matthew is trying to telegraph here is this is the way God always works.
Yeah.
This is the way
Yep.
God chooses to work. He's going to, God will pronounce a blood curse if one needs to be pronounced.
Yeah.
And you say, oh, that's going to destroy everything. God says, hold my root beer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
but
gonna fix it.
God will also wrestle with you and mess your hip up.
And I just think that it shows like you just ain't too dirty for God.
Ever.
Like you can, because I know you've talked about this in some sermons before. We maybe even talked about it on the show here. Man, it's like if I slip and I do something, whatever I'm ashamed of, then I feel bad about praying because I'm like,
Oh,
man,
sure.
I
Yeah.
shouldn't.
What's so
But it's
crazy
funny
about it-
because God doesn't. God is there. He's there. It
That's-
doesn't matter how dirty I am. Like he's
that's,
there.
That's the craziest part, though, is our biggest downfall as a church is we fail on that, but that is like the number one selling point of Jesus.
Yeah.
Like the number one thing that makes Jesus Jesus, we fall short on. Like we're like, no, we can't forget over that. We can't forgive that. We can't, no. But Jesus is always like, yeah, come here.
Yep.
Come here.
But see, that's the funny thing. We talked about it last week in the Benedictus, that we got all this political language about how the Messiah has come and he's going to overthrow everybody through the forgiveness of
Yep.
sin.
Yes. Yeah, we talked about not through the wrath of violence.
Yeah.
Through the forgiveness of sins.
Yeah.
I've actually had people that have been hung up on the forgiveness aspect.
Absolutely.
Because they're like, well, if Ted Bundy were to ask for forgiveness and he can go to heaven, then I don't want to go there.
Yeah, exactly. I've heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, okay, fine.
I'd be like, man, there's more room for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm sorry, man, but
isn't that bizarre?
That is bizarre. And what that comes down to is I've always said this too. You can always tell how well someone forgives other people by how well they forgive themselves.
Yeah.
But also, a person who thinks that someone else should not be forgiven is somebody that does not forgive.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
What is the line from the Lord's Prayer? Is forgive us our trespasses
as we forgive those.
As we are forgiving, as we are continually forgiving.
And we
those who
ask the
trespass
Lord
against
to forgive us the way we forgive others.
That's exactly right.
And we won't forgive.
And this is why we have a hard time praying, because we wouldn't forgive us.
And so
if somebody did,
so is this the spiritual blood curse?
Well, it could be. I don't know. But see, that's the funny thing about it is the only time that God writes somebody off is when they basically give him the middle finger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
when they say, I know you're God and I don't want you.
Yeah. I know everything about you. And I think I can do it better.
And that's the definition of blasphemy, by the way.
Yeah.
Blasphemy of the Holy Spirit. Yeah. You know who the Holy Spirit is, but you have rejected it completely.
Yeah.
And then Paul says, that you be given over.
Yep.
That your heart will be hardened.
So Richard Dawkins.
Yeah.
Could he be saved? Hawkins?
Yes.
Dawkins?
In fact, Richard Dawkins considers himself a cultural Christian right now.
Are you talking about Richard Darwin?
No.
No. This is the atheist, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No.
No. In fact, he just wrote a piece, just like maybe 6 months ago.
Darwin?
And he said, I don't believe in God, but the world is better with religion in it.
Interesting.
And he considers himself a cultural Christian.
So he's just a Christian in the culture aspect of things.
He likes the rituals.
Does he attend church?
He does sometimes.
Dawkins.
He likes the songs. He likes
the the best place for him to be is going to church.
That's what I'm saying.
His heart could be penetrated in church.
And hopefully he's got somebody teaching him who is not afraid to look at things in context. And honestly, somebody needs to tell him about these genealogies.
Yeah, he needs to listen to this episode.
He absolutely does, because there's stuff in here that makes it all make sense in the most natural and beautiful way.
Yep.
We're not jumping through hoops and bending things and doing gymnastics. We're just uncovering stuff that we usually read right over. And nobody's making anything up here.
Do you think that's the flaw in society, though, is we overlook little things in Scripture, no different than we overlook little things in our church. We overlook things in our lives.
This is why we engage ourselves with the words that God has given us. Because if we're looking at it from an outside perspective, we've got no Holy Spirit to help us see the truth in it.
Yeah.
We got no community to help us see the truth in it. We don't have scholars that will contribute some wise information that we can sift through and discern whether it's right or not.
True that.
Richard Dawkins, I mean, of course, he's going to, I read the Bible cover to cover. Look at those genealogies. That's the most ridiculous thing I ever saw.
Yeah.
Well, it's because you don't have any.
He's shut off already.
That's it.
Yeah.
And so, if somebody, would show him this, then it's like, oh, well, I wonder what else I might have missed.
Yeah.
And
I think it's like, you want people to read the Bible, but you got to read the Bible with your guard down. And that doesn't mean you got to go into it believing everything.
Don't go into it blind.
Yeah.
You go into it open.
That's what I'm saying. Like there's a difference in a guy reading it just to be like, this is bogus, this is bogus, this is bogus, than to like read it from just all right, I'm just going to give this open mind.
I'll give you a practical example. And this is why you got to read it unbiased. Let's say you and your wife have had not necessarily a fight, but a little tension. And then you're texting back and forth, and she goes, okay. How are you going to read that okay?
It could be a middle finger, okay.
Or it could just be okay.
Yeah.
Right? We do the same thing with Scripture.
I hate that.
Yeah.
Whenever we're feeling a little guilty about things, we read Scripture, we're damned.
Yeah.
We're feeling good about things, we read Scripture, everything's rainbows.
The plans I have for you, says the Lord. I love that. Yeah.
We do that too. Or if we think someone else is messing up and we read Scripture, that's about them. That's about them. What's about us too?
Because in our hearts we want judgment on everybody but us.
Right.
Like
we said, we love. It's a reason why vengeance films are like some of the best selling films. Yeah. I love them. I'm not hating on anybody.
I love them too.
I'm a Braveheart, Gladiator. Like those are my movies.
But that's
Pat, we watched Braveheart the other night.
I did. Yeah. That's why Scripture says, "though vengeance is the Lord's."
Yeah.
Because it consumes us.
And because we're not very good at it.
We're not.
We're terrible at it.
Yeah. We give it out in proportionate.
Yeah, absolutely. So Here's the last little nugget that I want to close with, and that is, especially now we would assume, okay, so Luke is writing to Gentiles, so Luke is already assuming Gentile inclusion, that the gospel is that Jesus' life and words were for all the nations, right?
Yeah.
That's why 77. That's the number of the nations. I mean, it's just all this signaling, and he's introducing these Gentiles to people that they may not have known before, and that Luke just might have uncovered himself, and he's going through all this stuff all the way back to Adam. So Jesus is the Messiah for the whole world from the very beginning of all time. Matthew is dropping this in here to signal to the Jewish people that ultimately the prophecy was real, that through Abraham and through the nation of Israel, all the nations would be blessed. Now, they would interpret that as, well, yeah, when Israel finally takes over the world, then we'll bless everybody. We'll bless them a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
It's like, no, they're going to be included in this thing.
Yeah.
And so this is why we have Tamar. This is why we have Rahab. This is why we have Ruth. And this is why Matthew calls Bathsheba the wife of Uriah, because Uriah is decidedly not Jewish. Right?
Yeah.
And so, maybe Matthew doesn't even know if Bathsheba's Jewish or not. I mean, I don't know.
I don't think he cares.
No, but he's...
Or no, not Matt. Sorry, I'm thinking of David. David didn't care.
Do you think
No, David didn't care.
Matthew's genealogy would shake up the temple and Luke's would shake up the nations?
Oh, for sure. And Luke's was meant to, to draw the nations in, to introduce them to somebody that was revolutionary.
Yeah.
Okay. And Luke is very careful to make a point that God is the father of Jesus. Jesus was a Jew. We get that much, but this is so much more than a Jewish thing, is what he's saying. Matthew's going like, okay, so think about the stories that Matthew tells in his birth account and all this stuff. He's the only one that talks about the Magi.
Right.
Who are the Magi?
Men from far off.
From, we think, Babylon.
Yeah.
And it was the chief of the Magi in Babylon when they were in exile. It was Daniel.
Well,
Yeah, how about that?
There you go. Yeah.
Daniel taught these Magi. This is how they knew
That's
what to
true.
look for.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so when all the conditions in the skies were right, they knew exactly what that was, because Daniel had prophesied about it. He told them about it. These are Gentiles. Jesus comes from Galilee of the Gentiles. It was a border town that had been basically sort of taken over by Gentiles. There was a strong Jewish presence there, but he was basically in the place of the Gentiles.
Okay. Yeah.
How does the Great Commission end? Make disciples of
of the nations.
all the nations. All the nations. And then, we hear the story of the Syrophoenician woman who he says, no, I only came to the house of Israel. She says, yeah, but even the Gentiles could lick up the crumbs. And he goes, you are so right.
Yeah.
Even the dogs get table scraps from their master.
All of these stories are in Matthew. And so this relates to the genealogy as well, because all four of these women, they're not Rachel and they're not Rebecca and they're not Sarah. They are messed up women that are Gentiles or have Gentile connections.
And not to mention, every time Jesus is on his way somewhere, he goes out of the way to go to Samaria, to go to all these different places,
Yes.
Yeah.
In the whole narrative of the gospel, God has been weaving in Gentiles from the very, very beginning. And he's wanting them to know the Messiah himself is from the line of David, but he's got Gentile blood.
That's right.
Yes, exactly. Take that. Yeah. This isn't a deviation from the plan. This isn't compensation for a bad situation. This was the plan all along.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, that is really just scratching the surface of these genealogies. You can go down a million rabbit holes with this stuff. But it makes sense when you begin to understand some of this stuff. The interesting thing is Matthew puts his right at the beginning before the birth narrative. Luke puts his in chapter 3 right after the birth narrative.
Yeah.
So again, different purposes, different audiences. It makes total sense for Matthew to start with this genealogy constructed in this way, which is basically spotlight on David, because nobody's going to read anything he has to say seriously about this supposed Messiah unless we get this one thing out of the way.
Yep.
And he puts it in such excruciating detail.
Yeah.
On purpose, making every noun count, making everything divisible by 7, making everything in 14s that point to David, and then making Jesus the 7th 7.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like, I don't know how long this took him to do, but it's like painting an exquisite oil painting. This is a work of art right here.
It's got to be one of those Holy Spirit inspired things.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
But it makes sense for him to do that right there because now they're going to perk up their ears. Now they're going to take all this stuff seriously. It's like you want to make sense of all this crazy stuff that Jesus did. Well, it all starts here.
Yeah, he throws David in the first sentence, so everyone's like,
Abraham, David.
Yep.
Boom,
They're like, that's all we need.
There.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 code words. Now, in Luke's genealogy, it makes really good sense for him to start out with,
Jesus.
This is the funny thing, though. He starts with Zechariah, the angel appearing to Zechariah.
That's true.
Yeah. And so he wants to say, hey, there was this guy. He's a priest, and he's Jewish, and they had no children. This is going to, be... How many times does God use barren women to do the most amazing things?
Yeah.
Hannah has Samuel. We got Elizabeth. Is going to have John the Baptist. Sarah is going to have Isaac, and it's almost as if that's a signal.
Yeah.
That it's like
If you're barren, you're going to have a pretty awesome birthing.
maybe when you're 85.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Because think about that.
I could not imagine.
No,
Yeah.
I can't either. But it's so crazy because God's like, oh no, you're perfect for the job because you are unable to have children. So you're going to know when you do that, because you're past the age and all this stuff. Anyway, it makes sense for Luke to start out this way: Zechariah, prophecy, John the Baptist, all this stuff, and then here comes Mary, and then here comes Joseph, and then you got the whole birth narrative. It's unlikely, Bethlehem, in no guest room, all this kind of stuff.
Yep.
And then he says, okay, now that you understand who Jesus is, let me tell you where he came from.
Yeah, let's get this started.
And then let me tell you why he came. It wasn't just for Jews. It was for all the nations. And he starts throwing in all these grab bag of names that are in his genealogy, but, he wants to highlight, look, there's this, and there's this, and there's this. And by the time he gets done, it's like, and by the way, there's 77, just like the table of the nations. So anyway, that is, I guess, maybe a little starter pack on the genealogies.
I like it.
And it still hurts my head.
Oh, yeah, me too.
That absolutely does. But once you get underneath the surface, you start finding some really cool things in there. What do you think?
I think it's awesome, man. Yeah, it's just cool to see the contrast, but they like fit well. When I say contrast, I don't mean they are different, but you get what I'm saying. But I like it between Matthew and
choices.
Luke. Yeah.
Well, and you see that none of these are meant to be historical. Both of them are meant to be theological.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think both of them make their theological point in an incredibly powerful way.
Absolutely.
And in a way that would have been very obvious to the readers. This is what he's doing.
Yeah.
So, it's like in one of my favorite movies, I Was Born a Poor Black Child. You remember that?
What is that one from?
The Jerk.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Is that Steve Martin?
Navin Johnson.
Yeah.
Okay. I hadn't watched that in a long
I
time.
haven't either.
I love that movie. That's one of the few movies I've seen multiple times.
Peter hit a quote that we didn't call.
I know, man. Yeah. Peter Wood, all of Peter's movies are obscure. Well, that's not obscure, but just one we hadn't seen in a while.
Yeah, not necessarily mainstream. Do you remember Pizza in a Cup?
No.
Oh, man.
Is that a movie?
No, that's in the movie The Jerk.
Okay, dude, I'm telling you, I think I've only ever seen that one time.
He meets this, Bernadette Peters plays this carnival girl. And he falls in love with her and everything, but she sells pizza in a cup.
Why is it in a cup?
I don't know. Because you think pizza on a stick.
I'm saying that didn't seem like it would fit.
No, it's pizza in a cup. Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't seen that movie in so long. I need to go back and watch it now.
Yeah. And that at one point he works at a gas station. And there's this big scene about how the new phone books. So the new phone books are here. The new phone books, and he finds his name in there. There it is, Navin Johnson. Anyway, across the road there's a sniper, and he's shooting at Navin Johnson.
Yeah, I remember that.
And he's hitting the oil cans. Remember the old paper oil cans?
Yep.
Yeah, and oil starts spouting everywhere. And he says, "These cans are defective." and then he hears the gunshots and he goes, It's the cans. He wants the cans. So there you go.
It's classic.
It is. I have to rewatch that.
So I hope you all enjoyed this episode. If you're struggling with anything, you need clarification on anything, put it in the comments below.
Yep.
And we'll respond. If you have if a major hang up or something was not clear, just leave it in the comments.
And you got 2 weeks to write in.
That's it, because we will not be recording next week because I will not be here. So there you go. I'm flying away.
Well, y'all, comment below. And hey, tell us the best gift you get for Christmas. Comment that. Let us hear what your favorite gift you get is.
And maybe you should mention one of the black sheep in your genealogy.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be fun?
That's me.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, this is a lot of fun. I love stuff like this. I honestly wish I had a lot more time to really dig down. We could probably do a whole series on genealogies.
Man, you could take the people in the genealogy and break down stuff
completely. You absolutely could. And this doesn't even. I mean, you could go back to the genealogies in Genesis. And have an even funner time. Compare those with Matthew and Luke, and boy, you could go down all sorts of rabbit trails. But this is as far as we're going to go for now. Hope you really enjoyed this, and we hope you have had a really good Christmas.
That's right.
And a happy New Year.
And we will catch you next year.
And also, write in what your New Year's resolution is.
Oh, that's a good one, too.
Because we're going to rate it off first of the year and see if you've already failed.
That's exactly right. That is also something that a dad would say. See you next year.
See you next year. Yep. I've been saying
it. Though next year.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
See you later.